So, I mean, you have the official list of topics in front of you. It's been a pretty busy week, actually.
Yeah. So the first thing is a carryover from the week before, which is that Warner Brothers has signed on to do a spin-off of Aquaman, a horror movie spin-off, specifically about the trench down in the ocean. There's monsters in there, and it's going to be a horror movie.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to do an underwater horror monster movie, but
So you didn't see Aquaman, did you?
I did not yet.
Okay, first of all, you got to see it because, first of all, it's the highest-grossing DC movie of all time. I know you're a diehard DC guy, but in my opinion, it's one of the best DC movies ever made. Like, I think the only thing that might be on top of it for me is The Dark Knight. So it's really high caliber. Definitely like an entirely separate genre, but
wait, you're saying best DC movie, not just DCEU?
Yes, it's that good.
Okay. I'm going to have to preemptively disagree with that, even though I haven't seen it, but okay, carry on.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm setting a high bar, but it's very good. So, yeah, I don't want to get too deeply into it. For anyone who hasn't seen it, go see it. It's worth seeing. But
well, it's not in the theaters anymore, so you can't see it.
Right. Yeah, well, it's going to be on DVD, I think, beginning of March. So, check it out then, or wherever you get your movies. Right. So, yeah, for anyone who's not aware, the guy who actually directed Aquaman was a guy named James Wan, who very famously created the Saw franchise and later went on to direct The Conjuring. So very much a horror guy. Like, this is not, I don't know if it's his first non-horror movie, but it's the first major, like, blockbuster he's made that hasn't been in the horror genre. So, for him to be like producing a horror movie spinoff, for Aquaman to be going the route of the trench, it's interesting. Like, I can fully see it within the realm they've set up. And the actual creatures of the trench are these, like, basically mutant, not really Atlanteans, but sort of Atlanteans, like in the same sort of species. Like, they're a version of Atlanteans where evolution just went horribly wrong. Right. And you do see them briefly in the early third act of Aquaman. But, you don't know too much about these things other than they're really aggressive and they're just attacking the hell out of our main characters. So, it's an interesting point in the movie, so I can sort of see why they're adapting it, but it's going to be a weird one to actually see it work.
Horror movie spinoff of a superhero thing kind of reminds me of how they're doing New Mutants, which comes out who knows when. Which is, of course, the spinoff.
Well, that's supposed to be coming out. That's supposed to be coming out this year.
Is it? I've seen virtually nothing about it. Yeah,
I know the press for that has been lousy, and I think that part of that comes down to just Fox not knowing how to make movies anymore. Apparently, part of it coming out to Marvel's acquisition of the whole, basically everything that is Fox Entertainment. Mm-hmm. We do have another topic. I don't know if you want to pivot to that this early on, or if you want to talk more about the Aquaman stuff. But
yeah, we'll get to that at a later point. But
okay.
Just to make note, Fox's previous attempt at making a horror out of a superhero, aka Fantastic, did not go too well.
Well, even that wasn't really a horror movie. Like, it had horror elements, I guess.
The director wanted it to be.
Yeah, which I have a feeling that the reason Fantastic failed so hard was because it was, like, it was studio intervention when it came down to it. It was Fox meddling with a director's vision. Like, from what I heard, the director had this whole idea for an indie Fantastic Four movie that actually sounded pretty good on paper. So I don't know. I'd have to blame the studio for that one.
And I blame both, because reading his ideas, they didn't sound great either.
Right.
But aside from that, it's also confirmed, which we probably already knew since the movie made over $1 billion, that Aquaman is getting a sequel.
Yeah, not shocking in the slightest.
Yeah, not at all.
So we don't know really anything about the sequel at this point. We don't even know. I don't think we know at least when it's coming out. I'd probably say 2021 at the earliest, right?
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Yeah, so what we do know is James Wan is back to produce. Whoever the screenwriter is, whose name I've completely spaced out on, is going to be writing this one too. So, definitely some, I would say that's a winning combination. I would say they've made some good steps to actually keep this whole thing going on.
Right.